Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, one more you say. Coming up. Yeah. Come on now. Come on, stop me. Come on. You coming up.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the House of Peach. Oh, my goodness. I have not been on here in 3 weeks. It feels like forever. Feels like forever. But I'm back and we are together again. Y'all come on in here. We already gave you a little teaser. So come in. We want to have a conversation. Hey Mo, what's going on with
Hey girl, hey girl, hey.
you? Did you miss me? Did you miss
Can
me?
you tell?
So we are on live. We are on my page, Morgan's page, House of Peach page, both House of Peach on Facebook and YouTube. So you can join us from anywhere. And I don't know why it's not showing up on my page now. I'm like, what is the deal here? What's going on here? I don't know. However, we on here. So y'all can find the House of Peach page and definitely, oh, well, then why don't we just go do that? Just go to House of Peach page. How about that? Because is your picture up in the corner like mine?
What you mean? For
Where you connect
yeah, it is. But it's okay. So the only reason why I'm a little delayed, my bad, is because like I'm tagging folks and it goes from a blue tag to a nothing. So I think it's just going to be one of those days.
Oh, okay. Well, however, you're on here live and we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to go to the House of Peach page because I know it's on there. We can see it. Look at that live. All right. So today is a very special day because it's just Morgan and I. We don't have any guests on. We are the guests. We are the ones that's going to be on. So when you come on, share this out because somebody may need to hear what we're going to say on here tonight. And to be completely honest, we aren't for sure how this is going to twist and turn, but we want to make sure that the people are inspired, uplifted, and encouraged because we don't know who's watching that needs encouragement. We don't know who's watching that needs to be lifted. We don't know who's watching that's going through something in their life and they just need to hear something that's going to let them know, hey, it's going to get better. So that's what we do here at the House of Peach. We highlight female entrepreneurs. And in addition to that, we give some real life gems, nuggets, things to help people in their everyday life. So
Yes.
today is that day. So Morgan, what's been going on with you? I haven't seen you on the show. It's been like, oh, I miss her. So what's been going on in your life while we wait for people to get on here?
Life's been lifing. It's been kind of slow in the baby way, which is good. It's allowed me to get some prenatals and some necessary one-on-ones in with my clients that I'll be ready for July. July's a very busy month, so yeah. So I've just been kind of busy, chilling, trying to stay in peace, try to find balance amongst things, and finish up the school year. Homeschool is almost done. Getting this co-op stuff together. A lot of interest for the next year. So,
how exactly does homeschooling work? Because me personally, that was not my portion. I'm although I'm not a fan of the formal education and how it is because there's so many things that are left out and so many lies that are told. How does that work? Like do you have to get approved to do that? How do you
each state is different, but
Mhm.
yes, like I actually have a registered school for the state of Delaware. It's called
Okay.
Purpose Academy.
Uh-huh.
And so at the moment, we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 students. Yeah,
Okay.
7 students. And I was like, and that will probably increase by another 5 or so. That's what it's looking like for the
Hmm.
fall. So I'm excited. And it ranges from our youngest is 3, and oldest is 14.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was like, it's very nice. There are things that we do together, everyone together. And then there are things that, are specifically for the older ones or specifically for the younger ones.
Mhm.
Um, I'm thankful that Delaware is a great state, that allows you to kind of do as you will.
Yeah.
So there is homeschooling, there's world schooling, there's unschooling.
Hmm.
And so homeschooling still has some kind of structure with curriculum. World schooling is literally most of the time people aren't selling their homes, but I just got into this group where I'm like super excited. I'm like, I might want to dip my toe in this.
Right.
You actually use the world as your textbook. And
Hmm.
so, like, for instance, there was a family that was like, hey, we're not going to be in our home that for the next 3 months because we're going to be in Turkey. Is anybody interested coming to our home and in turn watching our dog? And they lived in Dubai. Like,
Oh.
who wouldn't want to go do that for 3 months?
Yeah.
Take
Sign me up.
like the amount of stuff. So like, for us, so we kind of are very child led. We have child led, some unschooling and homeschooling wrapped in one, specifically for like our co-op. So we
Okay.
do things that are very unorthodox, where it's like, you know what, we have a day that's outside, and I guarantee you at some point in time there's a lesson that ends up going in there somewhere.
Okay.
Like, for instance, when I took Noah to the beach last week, we had conversation about what the difference between a bay and an ocean is, and then actual water. So we talked about the actual land, but then the water. We talked about tide and how at different times and where the sun is, the tide comes up a little higher or goes a little further out. We have some beaches where the tide goes all the way out, where you can walk almost a mile out after about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So having, a place where you could literally walk all the way out, and just a few hours ago with straight water, is, an awesome thing to just experience, but then it also ends up being a lesson. So that's why homeschooling is amazing, because there's no specific structure. Kids get things that are not categorized in a grade level.
Mm-hmm.
We do more child led, whatever the children are interested in. They're the ones that kind of, um, I guess, steer the ship as far as what they're interested in. So, like,
Right.
for our older ones, we have one student who's very much interested in breeding. He comes from a breeding family, so he understands the science behind it. And actually, just last week, has now had his second successful litter that he has bred all on his own, from insemination on down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll be turning, if he hasn't 14 already, he'll be turning 14. So, and he's been doing it for some time, and now he's looking to do other breeds. So in that, we're like, okay, so what can we get to help him be able to have more information in that? You know what I mean? By the time you're in ninth grade, you pretty much have everything that you would use in everyday life. Like, let's
Mhm.
be real, 90% of the stuff we learned after ninth grade, unless you're a carpenter or you're a doctor or, a chemist or something, you're really not using that. As long as you can add, subtract, multiply, divide, and read, you know what I mean? And you continue to read, so your comprehension increases. And then
Right.
in certain areas you continue to learn, you're good to go. So that's where we are now, and just honing the interests of these children, so that they don't end up like, us. We're at 18 years old. If we're not going to college, it's like, oh, well, you need 4 years of experience, or you come out of college and now you still need 8 years of experience in order to get into something. And you're like, but I've been sitting in school for the last 12 years.
Right.
How am I supposed to get that experience? So
Yeah.
add that in there. And now is perfect time at, 13, 14 years old, because do you know what you want to do? Not really. Some people did. I knew what I wanted to do, but I'm not doing anything close to what I thought I wanted to do at the age
Mhm.
of 13. And being able to have all of that time to figure it out, play around, get into different areas, get thrown into stuff that you might have never even thought about can be that thing that, fosters what your person your
Yeah.
passion or your purpose really is. So
Right.
um
Right.
yeah. Hey
Quite interesting.
John, hey G and Jeff.
Hello, everyone. Is that Jeff or is that Gloria? Is
It's probably
that
both.
Gloria?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. So happy you came on. All right. So, okay. So, how are we going to do this? I think that, I don't know. Should I just start talking? Are you going to ask questions? I don't even know how we should
Okay,
go about
so yeah, okay, so yes, just to break this ice.
it. Okay, good.
So, my dear April, did y'all miss us? I mean, for real. So, yeah, where you been? What's been going on? I told our beloved friends and viewers that you were off, you were jet set, and you had a lot of stuff that was going on. I know the
Yeah.
last time that you were here, you had some news that you were going to be excited to share the next time that you were
Yeah.
on. And so, can I guess you start off with what that news was and then kind of go from there?
Yeah, yeah. So the last time I did the show was probably like the second Tuesday in May.
Yeah.
And I was, no, it was second Tuesday in May. And I was so excited, had been excited for a while because I was supposed to get married that weekend, the 18th. And yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That Friday, um, for the rehearsal, it just blew completely up. It blew up, and I was in a state of complete shock because I just knew that this was going to happen. Like all of the planning that had been done, all of the money that had been spent, all of the people that knew that had made preparation to come and be a part of everything. And then for it to not just crumble, but it was like a tornado came through, like one of the worst tornadoes ever just came through and literally ripped things apart. And I was in such a state of shock on Friday evening that only thing I remember saying was, I need to do my laundry. I need to do my laundry. I just want to go and do my laundry. That's all I remember saying, is that I just need to go do my laundry. Like, who does that? Just shows you where I was. Now, here I am, as strong as I am, as together as I am, as I do things, and I'm really, calculated. I have everything planned out and mapped out. I am absolutely stunned, speechless. The only thing I can say is, I need to do my laundry. That's it. And so my sister, who was, hey Stacy, my sister who she's not my blood sister, but she's like my sister, who was my matron of honor, had come in that Wednesday and she was staying here with me at the house. Had she not been here, that weekend would have gone a totally different way because I was about to really go into seclusion. Go into seclusion because not only was I hurt and disappointed, I was straight up embarrassed because here we are making all these plans and doing all this stuff and getting everything solidified only for it to blow up and not take place. Like, are you kidding me? So then I start to think about all these dollars that have been spent that I can't get back. Now, through the grace of God, I was able to get a chunk of some of it back, but that did not equate to what all was paid in totality. So it was just a piece. So I had to navigate through that, and I had questions. So I had to find out what is really going on. And at first I did block him. I'm like, you know what? I talked to him and I lit into him. And then I told him, I said, you are garbage. I told him that. I said, you are garbage because you knew that this was not going to take place. You knew, but yet and still you went along as if it was. And instead of just saying, you know what, this is not going to happen, we just need to stop all of this. And I would have been like, all right, cool, pump your brakes. But no, he went along with this and was just going on like everything was cool. And so I'm excited, like, okay, this is getting ready to happen. Your girl's about to get married. I'm getting ready to get off the market, and boom, and then boom, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that Friday night, I there were people that were coming in and out the house, and of course, I wanted to stay in the room with the door locked. I didn't want to come out. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to do any of that because I'm embarrassed. Like these people have traveled from Tennessee, from North Georgia, further south than Florida. All these places that people were coming from to celebrate what they thought was getting ready to happen. They had already bought plane tickets, had already secured hotels and Airbnb. And for what? For nothing. So, how
Yeah.
can I face people with this embarrassment because they came for a wedding and the wedding didn't take place? And so he is scot free because he's off and nobody ever sees him. Nobody ever has to see him face to face to address this or to none of that. I was left here on my own to deal with all of this by myself. Now, this was May 17th, May 18th, that entire weekend. I am like not even feeling like I was in the twilight zone, really. Really felt like I was in a twilight zone. And so then I began to question every single thing that was told to me, every prophetic, and I'm gonna be real, every prophetic word that was given to me, everything I heard, I began to question it like, well, maybe you didn't hear this. Maybe, but I know God's voice. I know when he speaks to me. There's no doubt about that. Now, maybe last year I might have questioned it because I wasn't sure of who I am, but I know God's voice. So for me to get to that point of, well, God, did I even really hear you? You know, I had to be at the lowest of low.
Yeah, well, hold on. I'm gonna pause you for a second.
Hmm.
So let's rewind for a hot second because what was that conversation like to be told this isn't like how were you told? How did you find out or come to a place of this is not going to happen and now like you said you're stuck with now having to explain to a bunch of people.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of this, how deep I want to get into it, but he was not in place. So he was supposed to come to the plan was him to come to the venue where we were having the rehearsal because we had two places. We had the beach where the wedding was supposed to take place, and then we had the community center where the reception was going to take place. We're at the venue for the reception. They're bringing in food, they're bringing in decorations, the DJ's getting all set up, everybody's practicing the walk in, all of that. It was just all. And then I go to the bathroom and then I come back and a series of phone calls take place only for me to find out that it wasn't coming. What do you mean? What And at that point, I didn't know what questions to ask because I was in such shock. And I don't know if I told them stop bringing stuff in, take it back. I don't know what was said. I don't remember. I remember a conversation, and then the next thing I remember getting in my car, and then the next thing I know I was home. What happened in between time? I don't remember. I don't remember how I got home. And Tasha couldn't have been able to drive me because she didn't know the way to get home. So I don't know how I got home. I don't. God definitely steered me there. But we had the conversation that confirmed that he wasn't coming. After we had been planning and he was just, oh, I love you so much and I can't wait. And then we're going to do this. And all this planning for the
So
future.
there was conversation up until the phone, like you said, a series of phone calls that let you know that now he wasn't coming.
There was conversation that Thursday night. Conversation that Thursday night, the excitement of like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be like the last night I have to sleep by myself, and then we're gonna be married, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and but a lot of that stuff he had said about what we were gonna do and how the things that he was gonna do, just stuff like, for instance, my car, like my car, because I travel so much, like the all the traveling has like nicked the paint in the front of the car on the grill on the car. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have your car repainted, and I'm gonna have the car repainted and the sealant put on it or something." And where that doesn't happen, and I was like, "Oh, okay." When I went to my grandfather's funeral in February, I ran over a grave and scratched and dented the door. I literally was distraught about my grandfather's funeral of his passing. So,
Yeah.
every time I look at that, it's a reminder of where I got that. So he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take to the body shop and get this done," and then stuff he was gonna do around the house. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm leaving stuff for him to do because he
Mhm.
said this is what he's going to do. And we had conversation even that Thursday evening that said, I'm excited. I can't wait. This is going to be great. No sign whatsoever that this was not going to take place, which is why I was so freaking blindsided.
Yeah. So
And
now once you get home, obviously it's a whirlwind of emotions. What exactly, besides obvious embarrassment and probably sheer anger, what what else? Because I at least those are the two I know right off the bat I can identify that I would feel. But
yeah,
what else were you feeling? How did you deal with those feelings, and how are you dealing with those feelings now? Because now we're about to hit a month, just about.
yeah, this
And
week.
what exactly does that feel like? Because I mean, time. They say time heals all wounds, but
Well, this year
that's the
taking a
time
whole
moving.
lot. Time is moving a little too slow.
I feel
Um,
you.
so how did at this moment, I go moment by moment. I can't even say day by day because I can start off here and feeling good and God, I give you glory, and I give God glory every morning and I'm good. And then something, doesn't matter what it is, will trigger, not trigger memories, it'll just trigger emotions. And then I will just go downhill. So, like I was telling you earlier, when Sunday, I love watching New Birth Service, and they were giving the scholarships to the high school graduates. And this young man, he came from New Jersey. It was him, his mom, his stepdad, and his 87-year-old great grandmother. And I thought it was great that they were awarding all of these kids these scholarships. And so Dr. Bryant was like, "Well, where's your great grandmother?" And they're bringing her there. Bring her down. She doesn't need to be sitting in the back. Bring her down. I got space up here. This little lady comes walking down the middle aisle, and I literally burst into tears for no reason whatsoever. I don't know these people. I don't know. I had no connection to anything that was going on. It was there.
You know what's so funny? You just said that. And obviously we talked about this earlier, but that was someone walking down an aisle.
Mm. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't either until just now when you said it, and I was like, oh,
And I
that's
don't
what it
think at
is.
the time that
Like,
I thought about that or paid any attention to that. But now
yeah.
that you say it,
That's exactly what it is.
subconsciously.
Because remember, because I had said to you, I was like, maybe it's just, we're thawing out, we're dealing with feelings and emotions and feeling things that we've never felt before and processing things, all those kind of conversations we have. But then, like, when you think about when you see those videos, like, you're not crying, or I'm not crying, you're crying. And
Yeah,
it's, one of those like home things. I
right.
cry with family reunions. I
Mm.
cry at births because there are things that are going on in my life that literally attach to those things. I'm not having no babies anytime soon, but there's a lot of things that go along with birth that
Right.
I'm still dealing with and healing from, and it will trigger some cry. But look, that's a relief.
Mm.
You can't hold it in. Holding it in does nothing but just makes it be like that volcano that someone tried to cork.
Yeah.
Eventually, what's going to happen? That cork's going to blow. It's going to overflow. I would rather not be explosive, but just
Yeah.
be that thing that just continues to pour until eventually it doesn't.
And that's why I continue to allow the emotions when they come to come,
Good.
because I don't want to be in a place where it is explosive and people are looking at me like, oh my God, what is really going on with her? So I think one of the hardest things for me to do after that weekend, because I teach online, and my students, I had two separate classes who were so excited. One class wanted me to create a Zoom so they could see it and everything. And knowing that that Monday was difficult because I knew that I was going to have to tell the classes, and I didn't know what that was going to look like.
Yeah.
So that Monday, going to class, and when they came on, I took attendance, and then I think I stopped the recording for a minute, and I told them, and they were just, they couldn't believe it. And then they said, all of them were like, all we need is a name. We don't even need a location. We just need a name and we will take care of this. Like, whoa, calm down, and then later on, I told them, I said, listen, I'm going to try to make it through this class. I'm not guaranteeing I'm not going to cry. I have my tissue here and everything, and I did. But they made it where it was, the feeling was light, and they joked around and stuff and made me laugh a little bit. So by the end of class, I was okay. And then Tuesday hit, and I had to do it all over again with another class. So one of the students, she was like, so how was the wedding? And I'm sitting there like, I said, there was no wedding, and their jaws literally dropped, and they were sitting there for a few minutes just speechless. And same thing, we just need a name. That's all we need. We just need a name, and we'll handle this. It's not even that serious. Just, it is what it is. um
Well, see, here's the thing though. And I grew up with my best friend's wedding and Runaway Bride. 'Cause my mom was a Pretty Woman lover, so I love Julia Roberts. So, like, her being in those two, that's stuff you see in the movies.
yes.
That's random stuff you see on like World Star Hip Hop. Like, we're few
Yeah.
far in between. Few
Yeah.
far in between. I cannot, and it's not to make this a big thing,
Mhm.
but the amount of emotions that go behind being vulnerable enough to take the step to get married.
Yeah.
As a society, and especially as women, we are taught that marriage is the ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
That there's something wrong with us if we don't get married. That
Mm-hmm.
there's something wrong with us if we end up having children before we get married.
Yeah.
That, there's all of these narratives that we have to end up living up to. And the crazy thing is, the average person, man and woman, doesn't really comprehend what goes into marriage.
Right. They don't have a clue.
What goes on in a woman's head
Mm-hmm.
when you ask for marriage?
Mm-hmm.
So for you, because all of us are different, and yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of our answers would still be the same, but for you, the proposition and asking you to now, as you said, take yourself off the market, what exactly does that mean as far as you're concerned? What does that mean as far as what you're bringing to the table? And what exactly does that commitment, when asked, what does that mean?
For me, the proposal was everything, because that let me know, or supposedly let me know, that I value you enough, that I love you enough, that I want to spend the rest of my life with you and only you, because I see in you who I want to be connected to, who I want to build with. And so it made me feel, because when it happened, I was like, oh wow, really? And the way that it was done was so sweet. But and then my mind, after the proposal and how I thought, and I was like, oh my God, of course. Um, then the planning began, because it's like, oh wow, this is really getting ready to happen. After 6 years, this is getting ready to happen. So then I changed my whole mindset of not living as a single woman anymore, but preparing for this. So everything that I did was in preparation for this to take place, and now another person being in the house, to the point where I'm like, okay, I can't take up all the closet. Let me leave the brother some closet space, to buying things, not a whole lot. I spend a little money on stuff that he likes
Yeah,
to
make it
have
feel
for him,
home. Yeah.
you know? And so when I looked at the stuff after the fact, if I had not been so concerned that, what, somebody can wear these clothes, somebody can use this stuff, I would have set it on fire. It would have been a whole nother, what was it, waiting to exhale?
Yeah. Listen, I was gonna say everybody would say Left Eye was crazy, but was she really?
Right. It would
Was
have been
she
a
really?
bonfire in my backyard. But then I said, you know
Yeah.
what? Why do that when someone can benefit from this stuff? So I immediately start getting, before I could even say it, my son had come in and snatched some stuff up. And this is the other thing. He had the gall to have a conversation with my son, asking my son what was his expectations, what were his expectations of him in relation to me. Now I'm sitting here, we on video chat. I'm sitting here, I'm driving, I'm on my way home. And he's having this conversation with my son. And I was like, just driving along, like, oh wow, this is real. So if I had any doubt, that right there, because I only have one son who's very protective of me. So for you to ask my son what your expectations are, and for my son to tell you, and for you to go down this list of, I'm going to make sure this is done, I'm going to make sure I take care, and if there's anything that you need, you let us know, we'll boom. Same thing he told my mother. Same thing. So you are really, there's something wrong mentally for you to be able to have these conversations. and be so convincing that people believe you.
Okay, hold that thought because
You looking like, wait a minute, what? I kid you not. I'm so dead serious.
sorry, y'all. That right there was some new information. So
Yeah, I didn't tell you that. That was
no,
new.
look, I'm trying to process that. I mm.
Yeah. And while you process that, let me add this in.
Yeah, because I had a question and I just lost it because I keep like, wait,
So,
you did what?
so maybe this will, you'll know, as I talk, it'll trigger. My 9-year-old daughter thought the sun rose and set with him. He would be on with her, video chat with her, helping her do homework, teaching her stuff about life, talking about the stuff they were going to do. She spent more time in conversation with him than her biological father. If I got on the phone with him and it was our time and she didn't want me to have time, but she wanted to talk to him, when I say would have a complete, this is a 9-year-old, have a complete fit. So here I am Friday evening having to break the news to my 17-year-old son, who immediately got angry. And if he had been here, my son would have been an altercation. And then to tell my 9-year-old daughter in a way that she's very smart. And so, but still make sure she understood the look on her face and the way that she just broke down in tears. I would not have ever wished that to happen. Now, I am who I am and I can deal with things and I go through the process, but this is an innocent 9-year-old daughter who thought the world of him. And he even had this lie, because it was lies, going on for this period of time, even up until Thursday evening. So I've got to, and Tasha, bless her heart, she kept me from in the room, because I would go in the room and I was like locking the door. I was not coming out. I don't want to, people were coming in and out the house. I don't want to see nobody. And she made me come out. She made me do stuff. She made me engage, because I was getting ready to be on shutdown mode for real. Shut down. And I didn't know. I think I focused more on the embarrassment of it all. And then now I got to help pick up the pieces from my daughter. And then now I'm going to have to keep my son cool, because I don't know what's getting ready to happen. Just a mess. It was a straight mess. But in the midst of it all, I know that there are no wasted experiences. Would I have opted to have this happen? Absolutely not. No, give that to somebody else. But I don't know who I'm going to encounter in the near future who may be dealing with this or getting ready to deal with it. And now I'm able to do it. So I'm on a plane coming from Colorado, I think it was. I've been to Colorado and so, yeah, Colorado. I was either going or coming back. And I'm writing a book, 3 actually. One is the second part of my devotional. One is on my life from childhood. So this part is going into the book. So I opened up my laptop on the plane and I just started writing. I just started writing, because the story has to be told. People are not going, when they see this, they're going to be like, oh my God, say what? Yeah. So I have taken this time of my life off the market for something that wasn't going to happen. It wasn't. So,
What has your takeaway been? Or I'll just say right now, because it's still quite fresh.
yeah.
But let's just say, where exactly are you now?
Overcoming it. I am. Taking it day by day and knowing that every day is not going to be great. Giving myself grace when I need it. Doing things for me, a whole lot of self care, a whole lot of refocusing, restructuring, working on my businesses more, doing more personal development. Um, and this in no way makes me feel any less of myself. As a matter of fact, it makes me realize even more who I am because it's going to take someone really, really special in particular to be with me. And that's not arrogance. That's finally having confidence in who I am when I didn't have it before. Like I didn't grow up confident. I grew up with low self-esteem because I was always told something negative all my life. And so I never felt that I was smart enough, pretty enough, bold enough, which is why I was so secluded. And
Yeah.
yeah,
But a lot of us, we take those things personally. We take what others do to us and we internalize it rather
yeah,
than seeing that that's what it's saying about that actual person. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it's okay for your actions to say that you don't value me, but does that mean I don't have value? No, that just means that your value system is a little messed up.
yeah,
You know what I mean? That's a you problem, not a me problem. And I think that's something that's super, super hard for us to be able
yeah.
to grasp because it's easy. You know what I mean? As
Mhm,
my therapist and one of my aunt would always say, like, we're all born with the "Am I enough?" question,
mhm,
and that need for validation and
yeah,
that need for want. And I don't care what anybody says. That's regardless of how spectacular your parents are, whether you
mhm,
had both of them, one of them, the other, whatever. Like, that's we all are seeking that. And
right,
so to get to the place of, as John was saying, what does it say about a man or a woman who would go to that extent to deceive you? Exactly. That I feel like that's exactly what my question was. Like, and I'm glad that you're not taking it personally. I know that's a conversation that you and I had, and I was like, I need you to know that this is in no way indicative of who you are.
right,
And that this situation is, as unfortunate as it is, what are we going to get from this? What's
mhm,
the lesson that we're going to learn? Because there's got to be something that we get from each one of these things. What
right.
exactly were we supposed to get? You know, there have been times, I know my lesson right now that I've been learning is not every stray dog has to come home. Morgan, you are not the ASPCA. It is okay to feel bad about the little kitten on the street and
But
keep
keep it
walking.
moving. Yeah, keep it moving because you
Because
don't
then
know what
you get
that
mad
kitten can
when you
do.
ain't got all the money because you don't spend it on that daggone kitty food.
Yeah,
And you're going to be mad when you don't have no blinds because the daggone thing is hanging on the damn chandelier. Like, we can.
right.
And
Absolutely.
then I want to sit here and I want to be mad at the kitten. No, Morgan, the kitten was fine on the corner where it
Mhm.
was.
It has survival mechanisms in it. It would have survived.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And I know this is a life show. We're talking about life, but just because we also talk about entrepreneurship, I love to tie in how life shows us exactly what we're supposed to do and
Mhm.
mirrors exactly what's supposed to go on as far as our business is concerned as well. And right now, like, this may be that season of really knowing what you're worth. We were talking about, when your first book was coming out and, pricing and how to get that out there and marketing and all this kind of stuff. And then we're talking about this next one. And then we're talking about, okay, now we're doing classes and, there's so many things and levels.
Yeah.
But guess what? As these levels go, you too have to evolve as a person, because what's my favorite saying here? People buy into you.
Right.
Your business speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So the growth that we're doing is absolutely necessary. And again, I've told you in private, and I will say this in public. There is no shame in this. There's no shame in being vulnerable. There's no shame in loving. There's no shame in wanting to be loved.
Right. Yeah.
It is so unfortunate that you were taken advantage of, that your children were taken advantage of, that your family and friends were taken advantage of to such an extent that this sometimes, I think, and where I was going to go when I had to process, this is the kind of stuff that sometimes makes folks want to say, on some Job, curse God and die type of situation.
Yeah.
Because how can something be so perfect? How can two people sit here and want to believe and be before God and talk about being vulnerable and want to do things the right way, and then it ends up like this? Because can't nobody say you're not a praying woman? Can't nobody say you're not a believing woman? Can't nobody say that you're not someone who speaks things into existence? And we can never say that you aren't a woman of substance.
Right.
So then, God, where exactly are we with this?
Yeah.
Like, so what? Was I delusional? And are my ears clogged? Who was the one that was talking to me? And I'm saying all of this because y'all, these are real questions that are asked.
Yeah.
And a lot of us get into that place. And like you said, I thank God for Tasha. I thank God for a few other people that were around physically to make sure, because those questions and those things, when I tell you, they come in and they infiltrate, and there's no space for that positivity. There's no space for where you are now, as in even just giving yourself grace and taking it a day at a time.
Yeah.
The fact that you get up out of the bed every day.
Yeah. Because I could have shut down and I would have, lost my house. I would have lost everything because I wouldn't have. But I'm like, no, God blessed me with this house. He had something to do with me getting this house. And so here I am. I just can't stop. Like when I look back to where I was 2 years ago, I am not that same April that people went to school with, that people grew up with. I'm not that person. And I hear it all the time. Like, you wouldn't say a word. And here I am out here bold and saying and do what I want to, and, going forth in what God has. But I'm grateful for that, because if I had not gotten to where I am now and confident in who I am, regardless to what other people do, I used to let that stuff affect me. So if this had happened to 2 years ago, April, then I would have thought that I was not worthy. Like, I would never have anybody. Like, there was something wrong with me. And then I would have just spiraled down. But because I know who I am, what I bring to the table, what I have to offer, what is in me, you're the one that messed up, not me.
Yes.
You're the one that's missing out on your blessing, because we're the ones, the wife is the one that brings the favor to the husband.
I was going to say, listen, favor was attached to you. You didn't know what was going on. God spoke to you and told you to get up and move again. Yeah. So the fact that this house happened the way that it happened, in the timing in which it happened, you weren't doing nothing but hanging out with family. And now here comes a whole house.
A whole house with everything that I asked for. Everything. Exactly. Everything that I asked for. So I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize that. I
Right.
realize, bruh, you the one that's missing out. You're the one that has ultimately messed up. And because he recognizes, he knows who I am, and has said to me on a number of occasions, I don't understand how the other ones let you go. He's like, but I'm not getting ready to mess this up. These are his words to me. His words to me. And
You
I
know
was
what? I honestly believe that he believed it. I really did. Because there are people who are out there that really do lie to themselves. They are very good liars. They are very good
oh, he was
liars.
the slickest of slick. And I was like, I just
Very
don't
good.
even understand. So when I'm finding out information that I didn't know, I'm like, why didn't you tell me this months ago so I could have now made a decision on if I even want to do this or not?
And the
Why?
answer, and look, and the answer was what to why you ain't tell me?
The answer was it happened in my past and I just wanted to leave it there. You big dummy. Do you not think that stuff that happened in your past don't shape your future? Or if it's something that serious, it's not gonna pop up?
Look, I'm sorry. I'm an extremist. Okay. So let's just take it to the whole extreme real quick.
Okay.
Let's just say you had HIV. Are you going to say after y'all consummate the marriage, oh, dog, that was in my past? Don't worry about that.
Somebody's going to prison.
So,
Somebody's going to the morgue.
yeah, someone's going to prison and someone is meeting Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
You gonna meet somebody's meeting Jesus and if I'm the one that's going to prison, yes, I did it. Take me.
like,
Okay?
I don't understand that
I don't.
thought process.
Because the and I was just like I just don't. That's how I was because
Yeah.
everything was on the table for me. Everything. There was nothing that he did not know. Stuff that I told him, I had told anybody else because of the level of trust that I had. Only to trust you 100% when I should have trusted you 0%. So then so I go back over conversations that we've had. Like, was this the truth or was this a lie? Was this the truth or was this a lie? Like, I don't know. Did you really love me or was that a lie? Like, I don't know.
You were absolutely right, John. He said he had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And when you have nothing to lose, that's why you can go all in. And when I tell you you can try to wreck some of the most amazing people, but in the end, like I said, try.
Yeah.
Because one thing April is victorious.
Yeah. I had stepped down from stuff like I am with Dr. V with Passionate Pursuit and we have the Sabbath service and we alternate back and forth who opens up and who does the prayer and so I had stepped back. I'm like not doing that. I can't go on there. I just need and I was really not doing anything. I wasn't calling anybody. If you wanted to talk to me, you had to call me. And even today, I'm still like that. Even today, I'm like that. Like, Tasha calls me or texts me every single day to check on me. And so finally, after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like it might be time for me to return to the stuff that I was doing ministry wise. Because clearly I can't leave. I moved to Panama City for a purpose ministry wise, and I can't just not do that. Then that would mean this entire move was for naught, and I should have stayed in San Antonio. So me being back Saturday at the Sabbath service it was different. It was different, but I felt because this was my month to do the prayer. When I say I felt God rise up in me as I was praying, and I just felt the strength and the power. Like, you know what? God, I give you glory even in this, because Some women would give up on the possibility of getting married, especially after something like this. You at the venue, and you're practicing, and they're bringing stuff in, and this is about to be like, I had not only one wedding dress, I had two. One I had specially made, and one that I found because I didn't think the one I had specially made was going to make it here in time. So I was going, and this is, oh my God, I was going to send the dress back and get my money back. So I sent them an email saying, hey, I need to do a return. They're like, we need you to send us a picture of what's wrong so we can try to fix it. I'm like, shoot, because at this point in time, it had been 2 weeks. I hadn't even opened the package because I didn't want to see the dress. So this made me have to open it up to see the dress, to try on the dress, to see if there was something wrong that I could now get my money back. I pulled this dress out. Hey, Miss Eveline, I took the dress out, and I was like, oh my God, this thing is even more gorgeous in person than it was in the picture. I said, well, I got to try this on. I tried the dress on, Mo. When I say that dress fit me so beautifully, I was like, oh my God. I'm standing in the mirror like, this is too perfect. This dress fits too perfectly. I said, you know what? I emailed them. I said, the dress is fine. You know what I did? I put it back in the special bag. When I finally do get married, I have two dresses to choose from. One dress may be for the ceremony, the other dress may be for the reception. But I'm gonna wear those dresses. You hear me? I'm going to wear that. So, what it could have done, it could have made me lose all hope of ever getting married, ever. I've been single for 6 years, but it didn't. I'm like, So what this has shown me, so I began to think about past relationships. So my last two relationships, this was him, and then there was someone when I lived in Jersey. The guy in Jersey treated me like, he just treated me so well. I felt safe and secure. He showed me all of that stuff, took me places, we did things until he went off the deep end. I'm like, okay, well, I guess now my lesson that I've gotten from that, I've gotten it. I see how it is. But this one connected with me mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, which is what I really wanted. So now who God really has, and we talked about this today, who God really has both of those qualities. And oh my God, when he gets here, I'm gonna be like, yes, you everything. You're everything. But I haven't lost hope. So I haven't lost hope.
Good.
And I won't lose hope. And if I just reshift my focus. That's what I'm doing. I've reshifted my focus. And I'm doing things differently. Like, I really, the fact that, and I love people, and I love talking to people, and I love my family. I've even pulled back from my family. Like, I don't even feel comfortable around them. This house is like my little safe haven. Me being here in Panama City and not having any family is like my little safe haven. So I'm just like, oh, kind of, I went to Georgia this weekend. It was an in and out, yet Sunday. I couldn't even stay at my mom's house. I was there maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour, just so uncomfortable, feeling anxious, like, I gotta go. They're like, you leaving? Yeah, I gotta go. I took Micah to get his car so he could drive it back. And he didn't want to drive back in the night. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go. And I drove back home to have I just could not. I couldn't do it. And my mom was like, are you all right? I'm good. Yeah. I gotta get out of here. Same way I felt when I took Tasha, because she left that Monday. So I drove her to Tallahassee to the airport, or to her cousin's house, because she was flying out. As I was walking down the walkway, leaving her cousin's house, going back to the car, I literally started having anxiety because Tasha was my security blanket for that weekend. And now my security blanket was gone, and I have to come back to this house with everything in it by myself. I had the wedding cake. The wedding cake was on the counter. The wedding cake had been paid for a week ahead of time, just paid in full. Oh no, yeah, a week or two ahead of time. So I had to go Saturday, the day that the wedding was supposed to take place. I had to go Saturday and pick up the cake. So I go to the counter. The lady takes the lid off. I'm like, oh my God. I look at it. I'm like, she says, you like it? I'm like, yep. I put the lid on and shuffle back to the car. So when people came over, I'm like, please take this cake, cut it up, take your pieces, do what you got to do. I ended up having to give it away because it was just so much. So I took pictures. Like, I got to have, people not going to believe this. I got to have pictures to show proof. So that's my proof. Like a literal wedding cake sitting on the counter. Food, everything. Hey, Tasha.
Thank you, Tosh. I appreciate you. I
Yeah.
really do.
So,
yeah.
Mike, that cake has been gone. I gave it to the
It
shelf.
was a good cake, though. Good. I'm glad it was a good cake. I'm glad. Listen,
It was.
at least it was worth what you paid for it.
Yeah, and then and I didn't even pay for the cake. My mother paid for the cake. The day that I was calling to pay for the cake, I was going to say, you know what? I'm going to stretch my money out. So I'm going to pay half this day and I'll pay the other half. My mom was like, no, just pay it all. I was like, oh, okay. So I started giving the lady my card. She said, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, she said, here, pay with this. She paid for the cake. My mother, I didn't ask her for a dime. Like, everything that was taken care of came out my own pocket. So here I am. So I remember her asking me about the cake, but I don't remember what I said. I just remember the question coming. So all of this preparation, even Tasha, oh my God. So Friday morning, Tasha, myself, and Dr. V, we went around Panama City we went to get, what did we do? Or was that Thursday? That was Thursday. We went. I got out of class early. We went and did some running around, some, stuff that we needed to do. We went and got lunch, and we went to Michael's, and Tasha was going to make my bouquet. The bouquet is made in my living room right now. In my living room, Tasha, that thing is pretty too. I keep looking at it.
But I love floral arrangements. We'll just have it as a permanent.
She had bought this stuff and still went ahead. She's like, well, what do you want me to do? I want to go ahead and still make it. Yeah, go ahead and make it. It's fine. Go ahead. It's just there. It's there. And it's a reminder, but it's not a reminder that puts me in a bad space. It doesn't do that. But yeah, I don't lie to people. I tell people the truth. I make sure we all on the up and up. So for it to be so easy, for the lies to just roll off your tongue like, ooh, really? You have no fear of God whatsoever? Because I do remember that it said, I believe, now Mike, you correct me, but I believe in the Bible it says that God hates liars. Is there a scripture that says that?
Yes,
Hates.
definitely. It says God hates a lying tongue. Trust me, I was a liar as a kid, so my mom made sure I knew I hated lying.
So for someone that claims that they fear God so much, these words came out of his mouth that he fears God.
That's all right.
You fear him enough,
how much favor is not upon him now because the favor is with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and
because it says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and has favor with the Lord. So at the end of the day, I don't care how much of a believer you are, whatever the case may be. Y'all can try to mishmash however it goes. Yeah. There's a way that this game is meant to be played. Mm-hmm. And you can try all you want to try to turn it, rearrange it, try to find your own way, whatever the case may be. But it's crazy because if you just do like, it's like when you get a box of Lego set, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever the heck you want to with those Legos.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to do what is on that box, you
Got
have to follow those instructions
Yes,
to a T.
absolutely.
It cannot be the longer piece Lego where they ask you to put the short one because you're not going to get the same result.
Yeah.
And you're going to be mad when you realize after you done all those extra steps that you needed to have that other one there. Why? Because that piece was for over here.
Mm-hmm.
For right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So listen, you keep building. I'm glad that you have taken a positive outlook on things. I'm glad that you are surrounded by some amazing people who can at least pour into you at this time because that's necessary.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are surrounded with some real gully people that's ready to just, you know what I mean?
They were. They were. Like my crew literally was like, this
We
is
pull up, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. It was about to be.
We
And
pull
at
up.
that point, I didn't care. Like, y'all do what you gonna do. I'm over here. Whatever.
Look, and we was all ready to take the rap. What?
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah. So I just
Yeah.
continue to build and continue to do it. It hasn't stopped anything. Like I'm still traveling. I'm still doing stuff. I'm still there. There's still more. Like I've had within the past 2 weeks, I've had people reach out to me for so many things, for mentoring, for helping them with their career. Like all this stuff is opening up. And I'm like, God, me? What? All of this stuff here, and I know he's going to restore everything that I thought that I lost. Now I thought I lost it, but he's
Yep.
going to restore and give me greater, and I trust that and I believe that. If I don't believe anything else, I believe that God got me. I believe
Absolutely.
that
Now wait, I'm gonna just bring this in here. And I know
Ooh,
I ain't in your I don't maybe y'all been rubbing off on me in this last year and a half.
who is y'all rubbing off? We can't rub off on what's already there. Go ahead.
Okay,
You didn't see Mike when
I
he
received
said
that.
hello prophets at the beginning. He said prophets, greetings, prophets, plural. Okay. You
Listen,
missed that part. I saw that. All right.
exactly I didn't, but I'm gonna just let you know the word in the beginning was this year, but we are only halfway through it.
Mm,
2024 is not up,
it's not.
which means
There's
he's not done.
Yeah. Yes.
It's so crazy. I was watching, and this is completely unrelated, but I was watching this video. This beautiful sister who unfortunately was accused of murdering her husband's child, and the timeline behind it was just so off. And when I tell you the comment section,
Oh, I'm sure it was treacherous.
and
Yeah.
people were like, wait, the math ain't mathing. How you going to end up having a baby 3 days after you get married? But like the lady explained it. The man was in a relationship. He got a woman pregnant. They started dating. The girl tells the man that she's pregnant. That doesn't change the fact that he still wants to marry this woman. This woman doesn't care the fact that he's done had a child before him. She'll do whatever. And the baby was born.
Mm.
And unfortunately ended up dying months later. And the two of them ended up getting off. They were not charged with murder, but so many people wanted to say there's no way for you to be in a relationship and get married in 6 months. You can't know in 6 months. You can't this in 6 months. I'm going to tell you something. One of my best friends is almost now 2 decades in.
Wow.
From 6 months and on an online meeting. 16 years, 3 beautiful children, absolutely amazing. What you can't do is tell me that when a man knows, he knows. When a woman knows, she knows. When
Yeah.
God tells you that this is the person for you, you know. There is no question about it. So what you're not going to do is try to play with a timeline.
And then to even, to kind of spin off that with my situation, God, I asked God for confirmation. I did. And he could have easily said nope. But the confirmation that he gave, the confirmations, because it was plural, that he gave me calmed me down because I was on high alert. Like I'm on high alert with everybody. Like I'm watching you, what you say,
Right,
what
right,
you
right.
do. Like, I don't know, because I've been out here single 6 years. Like I gotta watch what's going on. But even if God says to you, yes, that's the one, you're not the only person in that relationship. Yes to you, provided everybody does what they're supposed to do. I believe, had he been completely honest, had he been completely upfront, had he done what he was supposed to do, then it was a great possibility that it could have happened.
Yeah.
But because he chose deceit and lies and to go against what the word says, I said no. One of
Absolutely.
my friends that came to the house, Al Trevis, she said, you know what, April? She said, all of us are special to God. She said, but you particularly are extremely special to God because he went against your will to stop this.
Mhm.
And God gives us free will to make.
Yeah, because listen, stuff could have just kept going.
So for God
I've been
to
in stuff
stop
where God
this,
just lets it keep going, and then you
yeah.
gotta be on the other end. So
So
yeah,
yeah, so when she said that, it made me really think. She's not the first person that's told me about me and my relationship with God and how God sees me. And I was like, dang, this ain't the first time I've heard that. But then when I really got to think about it, because we do have free will and God gives us the ability to make the decisions that we're going to make and do the things that we're going to do, for him to come up and just like, no, and just flip it upside down. Oh no, he was sparing me for real, real.
yeah. Because you know what? This is a part that gets me excited about what's on the other end. What's
Yeah,
about to happen next?
right.
What are the things that is about to happen in your life that's going to have us be like, there is no way that if you were over here, this would have happened. There is
Yeah,
no way that you would have been able to do this if you were linked to this person.
yeah.
So sometimes God allows us to get out of our own way. Sometimes God allows us to go through certain things so that we can see certain things. But then he has to stop. And he goes, nope,
That's
that
as
ain't
far
it.
as it's gonna go.
And listen, hear
Yeah.
this too. And this is no prophecy whatsoever when it comes to this relationship at all. But there is a time and there's a place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up with an amazing, amazing couple that, if anything, I can say has been the epitome of what a marriage looks like, of what it means to love as far as God says to love. But this couple took years to actually get together.
Mm.
And God told the woman that the man was supposed to be her husband. And he was like, no, you're not. A couple of times.
Mm. Wow.
And what did she do? She remained where God said she's supposed to be. And then she trusted that what he said was what was supposed to be for her. And wouldn't you know, I wouldn't, their daughter is well into their 40s. So I could at
Mm.
least say they got at least 40 years under their belt in marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can tug, you can do all those different things that you want to try to run away from certain things, but things that are meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So Peach was saying about It's hard, but forgive him. And he asked
Mhm.
me for forgiveness, and it took me a minute, and I told him that I did. But when I thought of when things started happening, even after the fact, I'm like, oh no, I really didn't.
Yeah, you're right. Forgiveness is hard.
It
But
is.
there's a big difference between forgiving and forgetting. You don't have to forget,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you
And
can be like, you know what? You got that.
yeah, and I'm at this point now, I do forgive him. I do. I just don't want this to happen to anybody else.
Mm.
I don't want anybody else to endure these tricks and games and lies. I don't want people to do that. So it's a matter of, Lord, let me really seek you. Let me pay attention. Um, and so now I'm like, well, anybody else come along? Because now it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm back out here in these single streets now. What? But everybody is suspect. Like, you look, your
Oh,
head too big, your nose too small,
exactly. We done
I'm
learned
too
that this dating pool is a little pissy, but it's okay. God
is.
will make them stand out still. Don't
I'm
you
good.
worry.
I'm good. I'm good. And I'm not going to, let's just say if I'm out and about, because I'm still going to do what April does. I'm going to take myself out to dinner. I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to, do all of these things. I'm not going to stay secluded because I won't say that on here, but I need to go out here.
Yeah, that part. Look, you too fine to be inside. Go
Okay.
ahead. You too fine to be inside. Oh,
Right. So I'm going to do what I do. I'm like, shoot, I'm going to the beach. I got not one but two new bathing suits. I'm going. And if somebody were
there
to
you
come
go.
up and say, hey, have a conversation, we're going to have a conversation.
There you
That's
go.
what it's, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my, oh my. Oh
Ooh,
wow. Pete, is that Pete says, I'm feeling a strong feeling of unworthiness. Your mission here is too grand for him.
yeah.
Forgive and push forward. Woo,
Yeah, because you know what's so funny? I'm not sure which one of y'all said that, but
I
it's
want to
so
say
funny.
that's Pete.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to say it's so funny because you have said that to me before, April.
Mm, I did.
Yes. And
Oh,
you have been one that has said specifically that God is not going to give you what the next piece is if you attach to the wrong person.
wait a minute. Hold up. Now, when I told you that, listen, just last week, Dr. V sent me a reel that said, God is not going to give you the next step until you move from where you are. I'm going to send you that reel. She sent it to me on IG.
Okay,
That's
well, if that ain't confirmation,
over and over. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Hey, Mike says, Morgan, quit running from the prophetic. I know, right? I don't know why she don't take that she's a prophet.
listen.
So, Mike, can you expound on January's word was exposure? Was that exposure for me? I don't remember that January word. I really
Look,
don't.
look, and run that word back in my inbox, please and thank you. Whatever that was.
I'm trying to figure out who's being exposed. Was it exposure
Exactly.
for
And
me?
yeah, Tasha,
Exposure?
exactly. She need to know, all the way, fire, all that.
Yeah.
You know what I
So,
mean? Get it. Get it.
but yeah, so this was my first time ever in my life sharing something as serious and personal as this. Um, I knew that I had to go on some platform and share what took place. And I thought, well, maybe eventually I'll go on my Facebook page and I'll just, spend time on there because people usually come on and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then it just became stronger and stronger. Like, okay, well, we got the show today, and it's just going to be Morgan and I. Let's just talk about my story here and about being honest and transparent and all of that. And I just go into it because I don't do this. Like, I keep people out my business. And this isn't the only thing in my life that is monumental that needs to be told. But y'all just gonna have to buy the book because
Yeah,
when
that's what I was gonna say. Listen,
the book, the book, the book, the book.
y'all got the cliff notes.
Yeah, y'all got that. Oh my God, really? Lord, me and Peach over here with the prophetic. Wow, wow.
She did
So
say that that be a gift.
this is the year of exposure, as in
Mhm.
me being seen or out there more. Mike, is that what you're talking about? I'm going assuming that's what.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely right. I mean, I wasn't there for that word, but yes, that's been for the entire year. It was all things that are hidden are going to be exposed. That's
Yeah,
why we sit here and we looking at Diddy right now. That's why we sitting here and now all of a sudden all types of stuff when it comes to Jay-Z's coming out. That's why Cassie coming out. That's why Jaguar Wright coming out. All these people are coming out and telling stuff that is crazy. They've been telling for some time. They've been saying for some time, but now this is a season for for voices to be heard. This
yeah,
is the season for folks to stop being scared. This is a season for people to actually speak up.
yeah.
And for those of us that have been given a voice, those of us who are not scared, those of us who don't have a problem with speaking up for what's right.
Hmm.
Listen, I sit here now and I'm like, listen, is it you or is it me? Because it needs to be said.
Yeah,
We can
I'm
pause, but
so
I'm gonna say it.
grateful
Just
for having more boldness to be able to
yes.
say things and say how I feel. I had a conversation with someone a few days ago, and they were like, is there something going on? I feel that there's some tension. I said, listen, I felt like that you didn't even like me. There were some things that I had heard that you had said that had gotten back to me. So what I did was I just fell back because I don't get involved with foolishness like that. I said, so, and then there was a conversation, there was clarity that was made. Now, does that mean we gonna be best buddy friends? No. But the fact that I opened my mouth and said what I felt and was really bold about
Yep.
sharing that,
Yep.
that's big for me. Because for the person that suppresses everything and internalizes it, and then here I am, my hair falling out. I can't keep anything down. I'm, a mess. But no, I'm not going to do that anymore. So if you're doing something I don't like, let me tell you, I don't like that. Don't do that. Because that right there will get you in trouble. That right there will get you blocked. That right there will get you removed out my life. So he has done this, so you remove. He's blocked. When I say blocked, this brother is blocked, but has the he has the ability to figure out how to send me emails. I said, now I thought I blocked these emails. So they go into my spam. And so I'm like, okay, well, wake up, there's one, read it, delete. There will be no response. There will be no unblocking. It's done. It's
Exactly. And
done.
that's the
Like,
difference
done,
between a
done.
boundary and a limitation at the end of the day, too.
Mm. Yeah. So at any rate, we have been on here. I told y'all we were gonna spill the tea, and here this is my story. That's what happened. And not even 30 days yet. It hasn't even been 30 days that it took place. However, I'm good. I take each moment, and it doesn't negate who I am. It doesn't make me feel any less. Actually, it's kind of freeing. Like, okay, now I don't have to worry about that weight anymore. Let me just
Yeah.
forward unto like Peach said, that I'll know when my person is coming because I'll feel them before they get here. I
Yeah,
don't have to
absolutely.
get ready
Somebody
because
is
I'm
supposed to be
all ready.
taking stuff off of your plate.
Yeah.
I was like, I think that's a big thing. You
Mhm.
shouldn't feel a relief if someone is supposed to be in.
Yeah. I was like, oh, at first, because I was going through all of these emotions of I can't believe this is happening, and what are we gonna do? What now it's just like, woo, all right, let me just live this life. Let me just do this. I do what I want to when I want to. I don't have to be bound by this, bound by that. I can just be
Yeah.
April. And I
Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
that's where you're supposed to be. And again, as you continue to do that, you continue to get back into your groove, then that's when, again, I told you, you're going to lift up your head because you're going to feel this little tap on your shoulder. And the very thing that you've been asking for, as you said, these two things that
Yeah.
have been fused together in one person. And then guess what? He's
Mhm.
going to exude even more than what
Mm.
these two men give. Why?
Yeah.
Because he gives us the desires of our heart and then some.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh
there are things that we had no idea that we wanted,
yeah.
no
Right.
idea of what we needed. And that is the great, amazing thing about grace. So if
Yeah.
we can get grace from the person who created us, then we most definitely can find a place to give
Mhm.
ourselves grace.
Yeah.
So I just want to let
Amazing.
you know I love you.
I love you too.
I love you. I love you. I love
I
you.
just want to publicly say to all of my folks, my tribe, my people that constantly check on me, make sure I'm good. You know, if I need anything, I found out who my real tribe was. I really did. During this time, I found out and it wasn't who I thought it would be. It was not. So to have that support, and it's been, even though it's almost been a month, I still have that same support. I still have people checking on me. You good? Do you need anything? How you been feeling? All of that. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all, because I can call any of them and I could be like down. Like Tasha, she will not let me rest. And if I don't answer the phone, if I don't respond to her, ooh, that chick starts getting worried. Like, don't make me come up there. Like, come
Oh, I
on.
love it. I love it. Thank you, Tasha, for being the friend that April is, because
Yes,
everybody
yes.
needs a
That's
friend like the person you are. So
yes.
that makes me feel even better knowing that she has a friend just like her that's
She
going to
has
be
the
for it.
cup.
Because listen, that's how she be in my inbox. So I'm glad, like I said, that she
Facts.
has somebody like her.
Facts.
Thanks again, Tosh.
Yeah, that's how we are. That's how we roll. All right, y'all. We have been on here, and if you just joined us and you missed this, you have got to go back and watch it. And if anybody wanna, have a conversation later on, now don't come asking me a bunch of questions that I ain't trying to answer, but we'll have a conversation pertaining to this. We can do that. We can have a later on conversation. But I wanted to share my story to encourage people, to let them know that no matter what you face and deal with, no matter how difficult it is, it's for your making. I know this is for my making, and it wasn't to break me, because God does not operate that way. That's not his MO. Then Jeremiah 29:11 would have been a lie. He says, I know the thoughts I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of good and not evil, to bring you to expected end. So I know that there's an expected end that's coming. And baby, when that brother tap me on my shoulder and I turn around, I'm gonna be like, Jesus, where you been? Where have you been?
Exactly.
So it's been fun, y'all. This has been great. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm real relevant and relatable. I'm not getting ready to act like, everything is all together. You gonna see all the good stuff, but I'm gonna let you know that, and like I said in a post some time ago, it's not always good. It's not. However, it's how we handle the not so good that matters. So
Absolutely.
until next week, we'll be
Yeah.
back again, y'all. We getting ready to go on sabbatical.
We are.
We get ready to take a break. A break. Are we doing it?
We are. Yes, we are actually taking a break. That's what I was going to say. I was like, we are taking a break. We are going to finish out this lovely, lovely month of June. Actually, I was just thinking about it. That last Tuesday happens to be Josiah's 14th birthday.
Oh, so
I got a 14-year-old, y'all. That's crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, I know. Holy smokes. But yeah, I was like, that will be our last, and then we'll let you know when we are coming back. But we want to bring something completely fresh, something completely new. We have got a couple of things in the works. And so we want to give ourselves some time to be able to rest. We have been completely committed to this for the last year and a half. We want to be able to bring back some of the most amazing guests that we've had. Like I said, as far as segments and stuff, April and I would like to add some things. Our producers are willing and wanting to add some new things to the show as well. So that will give us some time to kind of revamp, bring some, and I don't know, bring some pizzazz.
Yeah, bring a little
to the show. Exactly.
Right.
We love what we do. We love you guys. We love this show. We love what the show stands for. And so, we are still very much committed to this. But as we said, life has been lifing. I know that this is food season. This is baby season for me. So it's also extremely hard for me to say, hey, yes. And I don't want to leave April out here stranded too many times.
You do what you do. Because it's you this week and it's me next week. I'm crossing the country next week. And
they like us together.
Yeah.
So yes, we will definitely be back, but expect at least for the next, I guess like 2 Tuesdays for us to come back, and we are going to probably circle back on 2 of our most favorite and requested part 2s of He Said, She Said. So we want to make sure that we get you guys in here. We want to make sure that we have a whole lot of participation. We have, our favorite part of the show, which is interacting with you guys and then being able to have some real conversations just as we had tonight.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. We love it. So until next week, y'all, we are going to sign off for tonight. This has been fun. This has been good. It's actually been therapeutic for me. So I'm getting ready to I got a little second win. I'm going to go do something else. So we'll see y'all next week.
All right. I love you. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, one more do say. Coming up. Yeah. Come on.